You're watching today's video technical update presented by FX Times. It is Friday, June 25th, 2010. I'm Fan Yang, your technical analyst, and I'll go over some developments in the Forex markets. The Japanese yen gained across the board this week. The main losers to the yen came from the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. The pound-yen pair, however, held sideways action due to the strength of the sterling this week. Let's see if yen strength will continue next week. This video is being produced at about 4 p.m. Eastern Time after the close of this week's trading. The yen gained against the euro this week, as you can see here. We started with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So mid part of the week we saw a slide in the euro yen pair, and now we are testing this previous low just above this low here. So at the moment there may be some support, but overall we are still bearish as suggested by this negative reversal. We are looking lower towards the 101, 102, 101.50 area in the daily. So if the market breaks this low, this will be a more likely, this scenario will be will have a higher probability. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we see that this rally ended. We had broke the trend line here, and also we saw that the market came to test this 200 moving average in the 4-hour time frame. Here we had it act as resistance after crossing it under, and now we're testing it again, so far holding as resistance. So the market is bearish from this reaction. Okay, looking at this chart, we are at the 61.8%, so there is some support here in the 4-hour time frame. There's a bullish divergence here, although the market hasn't shown any strong correction yet. 1-hour time frame not telling us much. We may have a confirmation. You see what we have here is possibly a negative reversal, which is your RSI getting higher after dipping down here to the low, to the oversold area. And you see now the RSI is up here, higher than this high, but the price high was not able to make a high. So we have some price action here that suggests reversal, or at least stalling of this today's rally, the US session rally here. So euro yen still looks bearish in the short term and in the intermediate term, although we may still have some kind of a correction to test this previous high, and if that correction fails, then that's more confirmation for the bearish outlook. The pound-yen pair pretty much held in a sideways action this entire week. You see, actually, if you span price action throughout the last couple weeks, back here to this June 15th area, we basically had this very narrow, sometimes choppy, but all these candlesticks show indecision. Okay, there is a bearish bias as the market has been declining. So at the moment, in this middle of this channel, we have indecision with a bearish bias. Looking at 4-hour time frame, we see this week the price action, the sideways action of this week, and now again we're in the middle of this week's consolidation. So not many clues to what the pound yen will do next week. You see the pound was strong this week, so it held its own against the yen. It actually gained against the US dollar. So it wasn't that the yen was not strong in this pair, it was that the pound had a strong week. So we'll see if this in the next week, we'll see if this lasts. Some confirmation could be looking at your euro yen pair, seeing if the euro slides more further against the yen. Basically that would show that there is yen strength at least, and that the pound yen would have difficulty rallying. For a bearish outlook, here it needs to break below this 133 area. Okay, so that's been a support area that this market could not break after this topping action. So look for a break of 133, then a break of 131. So these are the support levels. After the break of 133 is 131, and then here around 128 area. And after that, if this area 128, 127 area breaks, the next support is 123. And that's like, I mean, that's not a support. It's actually a swing projection from this swing here. Okay, so that's the sort of short intermediate term outlook for pound yen if the market breaks below this 133 support area. The Canadian dollar was pressured this week. We could see that as in the rally of dollar Canadian dollar pair, and also here in the Canadian dollar yen slide. So we see last week we had this topping action right near this previous high at the 61.8% level at 90. So that was a strong resistance, and then we had this week we had a slide all the way down to this previous low, and now the market's testing that low. Here the RSI is testing the 40, so there is a chance for the market to respect this support, but we will see what kind of rally comes out of this. If it's if it's just short covering and not really any strong buying here, we may just see a minor pullback and then further decline towards this 82.50 area, which is the previous low here and also the low here in February. So the Canadian dollar yen looks weak in the short term. Looks like if this cracks here at the 86 level, it may come down to the 82.50 level. 4-hour time frame, here we see that the RSI shows momentum's oversold and it's trying to resolve that. Price action doesn't show any strong correction, but as we see here, we are testing this support. So what we could do is see, project the current rally towards 38.2% and 50% area. So I would anticipate some topping action here, although the market doesn't seem like it has any strength to even push it up there. But it's Friday at the end of the week. We should continue to see how the market opens up on Sunday evening in in the US, and to see if the market can come up here around 87.60 area and top off. If it does top off there, then we may have continuation decline. In the daily, we see decline should come down to around the 82.50 area. Here's a quick look at the Aussie yen pair. We saw this week start with a gap here. This was some risk appetite coming after the unpegging of the yuan, the Chinese yuan, to the dollar. So there was some risk appetite, but that quickly evaporated. The market closed the gap, continued lower, and it's showing that we may have topped off. So Aussie yen, you see in the daily, we see this projection, and the market is exactly at the end of this projection where we see topping here. Okay, so also you have your, do we have a negative reversal? I mean, this is not a strong reversal. You see this low came here, this low was higher, but in any case we may be able to use this type of projection. Okay, so I already put that here to go down to around 71 area. Okay, but looking at the 4-hour time frame now, you see what we have is, see if we need some confirmation. One is from your RSI. Yes, it did break below 40, but it hasn't tested the 60 area yet. Maybe the current rally will do that. Maybe this is going to be the pullback that helps us confirm the bearish outlook. We'll see at the start of next week. So if this comes back up, the RSI comes back up, doesn't break 60, this doesn't break 61.8% and then declines, then we have a good probability that the market will at least come down to here around the 72.50 area. Okay, but first we need to make sure that the bullish attempt is thwarted. Then we need to see if there is bearish momentum. So again, further confirmation would be the break of this rising trend line. And finally, one more confirmation can come from this break of this line here around 75.50. You see it was resistance here and there was support here. It causes consolidation here. So this is an important line for the market to break to ultimately suggest a decline down to this previous low here at 72 or 72.50. Finally, a quick look at the dollar Japanese yen. I have less than a minute. Here we have this confirmation. Well, we started the week with an engulfing pattern, which was a false signal. Then we have 4 days of decline towards our target at 88.30, suggested by this negative reversal projection. 4-hour time frame shows that this correction is pretty much paired and market is ready to continue lower. 1-hour time frame shows a negative reversal, so even in the near term we don't see any bottoming. So next week we are poised to see this market find some bottom, but not yet. We may have some further decline before finding this bottom here at this support area at 88. That wraps it up for this week. Check out fxtimes.com for more analysis updates and educational live events. Once again, I'm Fan Yang, your technical analyst here at FX Times, wishing you a great weekend.